Want to jump into some specifics, but first, just give me a big picture. Title 42 has been lifted now for a few days. Since then, talk to me a little bit how things have looked at the border and just in terms of people coming in, conditions at the border, everything along those lines.
Since the lifting of Title 42, we've seen encouraging signs. We have had an average of 4,400 daily encounters and less than 4,000 encounters on each of the last 2 days. So that certainly shows that the message that we've been sending, that we're going to enforce our immigration laws, that we're going to do what we were not able to do under Title 42, which is to apply consequences, is getting out. And we want to continue to deliver that message. At the same time, we continue to be mindful of the fact that dynamics could shift quickly. We know that smugglers are going to continue to try to peddle lies and try to push migrants to come with any excuse that they can find. So we're mindful of that. But what we've been doing for the last year and a half is to plan to be able to scale as necessary. And so while we're seeing these encouraging signs, we're ready for whatever else happens in the coming days.
The department, Secretary Mayorkas, a lot of what was talked about was the prep work that went into this, kind of happening. With all of that prep work, are these the types of numbers that you thought that you might see, or did you think we might see some of these higher numbers of people, attempting to come in and coming in that we saw potentially, as Title 42 was, before it was lifted?
We certainly expected that they could be higher, but we always knew that there was also a dampening effect, which is that under Title 42, we couldn't apply consequences under US immigration law. It was a Band-Aid fix that required us to just quickly expel people administratively. What that meant is that consequences like a 5-year ban on reentry, criminal prosecution for repeat offenders, those were blocked off and made much more difficult under Title 42. And so we knew that we would see a reduction of recidivism. Under Title 42, you could try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and there were no consequences. Now there are. And so we did expect that would make some shift downward, even as we saw potentially increasing numbers. But look, this is the reality that we're dealing with, is that it can be unpredictable. And we have to be ready for different scenarios. And so what we did was we put the contracts in place, the mechanisms to be able to move people quickly, to decompress sectors if necessary, the ability to do a lot of removal flights and expulsions, working with our partners in Mexico and throughout the region, so that we could, in the last few days, for example, we've done flights to over 20 countries. And so we have the mechanisms in place to adapt, and we're going to continue to have to shift depending on the dynamics as they play out.
I want to get into a couple kind of more local for San Diego type questions. Obviously, a lot of people who may not be from our area, or even the people that are from our area, may not realize how big the differences are between the San Diego border and, say, the Texas El Paso border, different borders around the country. Is there a way that DHS handles different areas, say San Diego versus a Texas or an Arizona, just in terms of process, just in terms of the types of people that may be coming in, just any kind of process type things that may kind of show those differentiations between the different borders that we have here?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And it's a great question because every sector does vary a little bit. In San Diego, you have a very, very urban dynamic. In a place like Tucson, the terrain is much harsher, very difficult terrain. And you see the involvement of the transnational criminal organizations on the other side of the border in different ways. In the Tucson sector, they're looking to help single individuals evade detection. And so what we've done is we've deployed technology along the border, more personnel, different resources. So we have a mix of infrastructure, technology, and personnel, aerial monitoring that's enabling us to be able to adapt as necessary. So in some sectors, we might need more of that than we do in San Diego, where we have, an aerial monitoring device that sends information to a tactical operations center that deploys Border Patrol exactly to where there's movement. In San Diego, over by San Isidro or along the way, there's just different dynamics. But certainly we adapt and we see shifting patterns. So you might see one sector go up in traffic this week, but it might be a different sector next week. And so we have to be ready for that. El Paso is just one example. Had dropped to, third or fourth highest traffic in terms of attempted crossings a few weeks ago. And then all of a sudden it jumped to number one. And those are difficult to predict. But again, that's why what we've been putting into place is the mechanisms and the ability to then quickly shift resources as needed and to be able to address whatever that looks like, and then to be able to impose consequences, which we can now do post Title 42.
Couple more and we'll get you out of here. One of our county supervisors says that an Afghan national was arrested here who was on the terror watch list. In just big picture first, when something like that happens and you have someone arrested for who's maybe on a watch list, how damaging is that for the overall, movement of people here are trying to come here, to seek asylum or whatever it may be? You don't want to say one bad apple and frame it that softly, but how damaging is it for the overall message when you have someone that may be on a list like that being arrested and potentially making others out to, demonize a larger group, of people in that case?
Yeah, I don't think that's the right word for it, because we do have to differentiate. And so regardless of who's coming across, we're going to screen and vet them. And we're going to make sure whether they pose a national security risk or even just a public safety risk of any kind. And in those cases, they're likely to be referred to ICE and kept in detention until we can remove them. So it's going to vary. And the fact that we can even identify someone on that kind of watch list is also a testament to the evolution of DHS. Look, think about what it was like 20 years ago when DHS was just created. In the aftermath of 9/11, we were still looking at how do we make sure that agencies are talking to each other and that we have intelligence at work with our partners, not just in the interagency, but in partner countries around the world. And the success of those lists and the ability to detect people on them is a testament to the fact that we're tracking that. And there's a good chance that if we see someone on that list, the border is not the first time we knew that they were in transit. So really important that we continue to look at the broad picture of our national security mission, regardless of what's happening with migrants. But we screen and vet every individual, and that's the mission. That's what our first unified border agency and CBP is intended to do. And so when we see things like that, I think we do have to put those things in different buckets and understand where they're going to go. And the FBI obviously is going to play the lead role now on whatever follow-up that might be. But again, this is the national security mission that DHS was established for.
I know this isn't your total department, but border agents and border patrol, they were talking about just, or at least ones that we've spoken to in the unions and all that, talking about the tremendous amount of resources that we're going toward those coming at the border, how it's with staffing and with what they've had to do to ensure a smooth process and everything along those lines. It was straining them as we were leading up to Title 42. Just based on the fact that we've maybe had fewer migrants coming here, since the end of Title 42, and we'll see what happens here in the future. In your conversations, maybe with that agency or those agents, have things gotten a little bit better in terms of their whether it's mindset or process or whatever it may be? Are things just smoother for them along the border? Do you think they're getting the help that they need? Just kind of talk about the actual conditions in the border as it relates to those that are dealing with that processing.
Yeah, absolutely. We do everything we can to get our Border Patrol frontline personnel everything that they need in terms of resources and support. And some of it is just modernization and improvement. So, we talked a little bit about what it looks like in different sectors. One of the things that we've gotten Border Patrol agents is new technology so that they can receive feeds from AI-driven cameras that get them something in the palm of their hand in a device that shows them exactly where they need to go when that activity is detected. But we've also gotten them more support in terms of being able to improve processing by deploying 1,200 processing coordinators in the last few months that are helping them not have to do as much on the back end, but be able to get back on the line quickly so that they can do their jobs. And things like mobile processing so that an agent on the northern border or in Florida could be helping process migrants who are on the southern border, and that's making a difference. But absolutely, we take a lot of care and effort in making sure that we're providing our workforce the support that they need. This is Police Week, and it's a good reminder that they're putting their lives out on the line and doing a lot of hard work on the front lines of a very challenging situation, both on the migration issue, but again, also on the law enforcement and national security side. And we continue to honor that and look for ways to make sure that we're providing them the support that they need.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. I always like to open the floor to whoever I'm speaking to at the end. Anything that you want to touch on overall that we may have missed during the interview? I thought you were thorough, but just in case you want to touch on anything else.
No, I think that covered it. I think
Good.
it's a complicated situation, but we're doing everything we can to make it both manageable and just safe, orderly,